Hi everyone, Rami here. I'm going to be taking you through the different stages of Excel and the step-by-step process that has proven successful throughout all my students, and I'm going to share that with you for free, and you can follow along, and if you have any questions, please do reach out. So we're going to start off with this simple panel here where we've got the cut, copy, format painter, and paste. A lot of you are going to say, Rami, I know this. We know how to copy, we know how to cut, we know how to paste. But what you don't know is the different types of paste that you can do in Excel. So I'm going to start off with the simple ones. If I highlight something and I click Command C or Control C on your Windows, I can then paste, and this will paste everything. So if this was formatted, so if we had a yellow format and I copied this and I pasted it, you'll see that it will paste even the format. If I wanted to paste only the values, I can go and paste just the values like this. You can also paste special. So if I paste special, there's a few options that you get here with Excel. I can do transpose, which will basically flip my columns into rows. So you can see all these have become rows and my rows have become columns. I can also go and paste as an image. And this is really useful when you want to share with PowerPoint. So if I go and select a picture, I can paste my data as a picture. And I can also paste this as a linked picture. And my linked picture here will be like this, where if I were to update anything in here, so if I made this 100, you'll see that the image now updates to 100. So I'm going to undo this by clicking Control Z or Command Z on your Mac. I'm going to copy this again, and I'm going to show you here something called link. So if I paste link, this is just going to have a reference. If you look at the cell contents, you'll see that this is referencing A1, this is referencing B3, and now if I were to change anything here, it will reflect there. When would you use this? You would use this if you want to have this data set somewhere else. So what I could do is, like, let's say I copy everything here and I go and I paste it. Let me just scroll all the way up. And if I go here and I pasted this as a link, I can now start moving my columns around if you wanted, or deleting them without impacting the original cells. So I can start moving these around, and my original data set stays the same. All I'm doing is highlighting the column, Control X to cut, or to cut from here, or right click and cut. And when I'm ready, I just right click the column that I want it to be on the left of, and I then paste, and then it will move to the left of it. Awesome. Now, what else can I do with paste? So if I were to copy this again, I can also paste the borders. I can paste the column width. So you can see here, for example, that when I previously pasted the orders and the quantity, they kind of cut off the width of them. I can paste the width of the columns as well. So if I go and paste special and column width, keep source column width, that pushes things across for me, depending on what I've done here. Now, the last one that is really important is if I use something called sum. So if I use any function and let's say I summed the sales, and now you've got this number. If I were to copy this and I wanted to include it in some other report that I've got somewhere else here maybe, and I pasted this, you'll see that the numbers change. That's because the reference has changed as well, and it's now looking at a different reference. So there's two ways to do this. Either we can make this a fixed reference, and we'll talk about that later, or I can paste values. So if I copy this, I can go here and I right click and I can paste the values, which will prevent the formula from being pasted. Now, all the other pastes that you have here are basically different versions of what we've covered. So you can either paste the values only or the values and the number formatting. That means, like, basically if I had this as 23% and I were to copy this and I pasted this as a value, it will go as 0.23. But if I pasted this as value and number formatting, this will paste it like this. But then you've got the paste values and formatting, and this will include the formatting as in the colors and the font colors and so on. Awesome. The last thing that a lot of people don't actually know is, let's say I have here all my sales. So I'm going to just go and copy this by highlighting it and Control C to copy. I'm going to paste it over here. I'm just going to paste it here. And let's say I'm going to insert a column here on the left. Just going to give myself some room. And let's say I want to add 1 to all my sales. I can either do equals this plus 1, or what you can also do is if I copied this and I went over the Z and I said paste special, and I can then say add. And what this does is it basically adds whatever's in here to there. So if I had here the number 10 and I wanted to add 10 here, I can just copy and paste special, and I just say add. You can do subtract, multiply, or divide, and I click OK, and that will add 10 to my number. Now that's all for today. That was the paste function and the copy. The only thing that I would tell you as well is that when you use cut, most of your paste specials go away. So if I were to select this and I cut instead of copy, now when I go and paste special, you'll see that a lot of the options are now gone. So most of your paste specials are only applicable when you're copying rather than you cutting. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the lesson.